Hey, what's up, muchachos? Today we're going to be talking about how to calculate the slope of a line when you're given 2 points. If we want to be successful with this skill, we're going to have to be comfortable with the formula that you can see on your screen. Specifically, if you're trying to find the slope of the line that passes through points x1, y1 and x2, y2, you're going to use the formula m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's important to know how easy it is to make a sign error when you're using this formula, so keep these next two guidelines in mind anytime you have to use the slope formula. Any problem involving the slope formula is going to give you 2 points. Those points aren't going to be pre-labeled as x1, y1, x2, y2, at least not normally, so it's going to be up to you to choose whichever one you want to be your x1, y1. Practically speaking, it doesn't matter which of your 2 points you choose. As long as you're good with your algebra, you're going to come out to the correct answer. But I suggest picking the point that has the lesser of the 2 x values. Choosing this way is going to guarantee that whatever value you get from your subtraction in the denominator will be positive. And of course, the fewer negative numbers that we have floating around, the less of a chance we'll have of making a sign error. Once we select what we want to be our x1, y1 and x2, y2, the next thing we're going to do is plug in our values to the slope formula, which naturally leads us into the second suggestion. When you go to plug in x1 and y1 to the formula, make sure that you put parentheses around them. Doing so will reduce the confusion that we have about how to deal with negative numbers. Basically, if you've ever wondered if you should keep something as a minus or if you need to change it to addition, this is going to help you resolve that issue. Okay, muchachos, now that we know everything that we need to know, let's go try some practice problems. First things first, we're asked to find the slope between the points 1, 1 and negative 3, 9. Before we can plug into the formula, we have to assign each of our points as x1, y1 and x2, y2. Our suggestion from above was to pick x1, y1 first and to let that point be the one with the lesser of the 2 x values. In this problem, the 2 x values are 1 and negative 3. Since negative 3 is less than 1, I'm going to let that be x1. With x1 assigned, everything else is going to fall into place. In other words, if negative 3 is x1, then that means that 9 is y1. This also means that the x and y values in our second point qualify as x2, y2 respectively. Let's go ahead and write down our formula again. The more times we write it down and the more times we see it, the less of a chance we have of making a mistake. And it is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now we plug in. y2 was 1 and then y1 was 9. Remember, we're going to put the x1 and y1 in parentheses. Continuing, x2 was also 1, and then x1 was negative 3. We put that in parentheses. In the top, we just have 1 minus 9, but in the bottom, minus a minus turns into a plus. This is what I was talking about earlier. Any confusion about how to deal with the negative 3 was resolved using the parentheses. We do our subtraction here, and we get negative 8 over 4, which simplifies into negative 2. This is our slope. Great, so what we did was we defined our x1, y1, which defined x2, y2. We wrote our slope formula again. We plugged in our values, making sure to put x1 and y1 in parentheses. We did our subtraction, making sure to mind the double negatives, and then we were able to divide. Now, that division isn't always going to be possible. In fact, a lot of the times the slopes that we're going to get are going to be fractions. That's perfectly okay. Take our next problem, for example. We're asked to find the slope between negative 2, negative 5 and 3, 3. The lesser of our 2 x values in this problem is negative 2, so we'll label that as x1. This means that the negative 5 is y1, and the x and y values in our other point are x2, y2. The slope formula again is going to be m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Next, we're going to plug in. Our y2 value is equal to 3, y1 was negative 5, we'll put that in parentheses there. This is going to be over our x2 value is also 3 in this case, minus our x1 is -2, again putting that into parentheses. In both the top and the bottom we have double negatives, so we can change those to pluses, giving us 3 plus 5 over 3 plus 2, which is equal to, of course, 8 over 5. Now, 8 and 5 have nothing in common, so we can't simplify the fraction. We're going to leave it as 8 over 5. Do yourself a big old favor here and don't change this to 1 3/5 or 1.6. I say this because if you have to graph, it's much easier to keep things in terms of 8 over 5. Why? Well, on the graph, it's best not to think of the slope formula. Instead, think of slope as rise over run. If I have 1 3/5 or if I have 1.6, it's not at all clear what I need to do. But with 8/5, I know very clearly that I need to go up 8 and then right 5. Alright, muchachos, I think that's everything I need to say today. Remember, keep writing that formula down. The more familiar you are with it, the less likely you are to make a mistake. Also, allow your smaller x value to be your x1. And finally, make sure that when you're plugging in x1 and y1 to the formula, you put those in parentheses to help you figure out how to deal with the minus signs a little bit more clearly. And as always, make sure to get plenty of practice. Thanks for coming. See you next time.